So, hello everybody. Yes, we are live again. We are connected. So, the next stream will be on Thursday, which will be the 6th of March at 3:30 p.m. UK time. So, hi to Vitali, hi to Victoria, hi to Nadia, hi to Manisco, hi to Julia, hi to Pablo, and hi to Oksana. And well, we will see more people as we go. So great to see you all. So let's get into this. This was about an article about the smell of mummies. The mummies that were found in Egypt, Egyptian mummies, and how they smelled, or how they smelt. So, here goes. Dr Bembibre explained that heritage scientists are always trying to find non-deadly, destructive, fatal, hurtful ways to discover new information. So, non-deadly, non-destructive, non-fatal, non-hurtful ways to discover new information. Hi Patricia. So Vitali and Julia go for fatal. Oksana goes for destructive. So remember, they're looking at mummies. Destructive for Victoria, destructive for Pablo, destructive for Chaya. Hi there Chaya. Destructive for Manisco and Nadia. So remember, these mummies are no longer alive. So non-fatal. No, fatal means something is going to be killed. Non-deadly, deadly is killed. Hurtful talks about painful. But non-destructive, something that doesn't destroy the mummy. Non-destructive ways. We want to share the incident, encounter, experience, happening, event we had smelling the mummified bodies, says Dr Cecilia Bembibre. Hi Suhail, lovely to see you. So, good to have you Suhail. It's good to see you here with us, Patricia. So, Oksana and Julia and Nadia go for experience. We want to share the incident, encounter, experience, happening, event we had smelling the mummified bodies. It's an interesting desire. I think she's one of these crazy Egyptologists. So, experience for Vitali. Hi Carlos Ernesto. Wow, son of Iraq, 1,000. Only another 14,000 to go. Experience for Chaya. Experience for Victoria. I've never been to Iraq, unfortunately, son. Experience for Manisco, experience for Carlos Ernesto, experience for Patricia. I love the smell of mummies in the morning. Not napalm, Alex. Good to have you with us, Alex. So, an incident is normally when something happens. Hi, Renyard. Experience for Renyard. So, a car accident could be an incident. An encounter is normally where you meet somebody, or two groups of people meet, or maybe some lions have an encounter with a zebra. Okay, the previous one, Patricia, was non-destructive. Non-destructive ways of knowing what's going on inside an Egyptian mummy without smashing it to pieces. A happening is like an event, but an experience. The experience, smelling the mummies, is an experience. Okay, videos about finance words. Whoops. Okay, so to share the experience. A misfortune, the misfortune to smell a mummy. Okay, so visitors who smell the scents in a museum will be able to experience ancient Egypt and the mummification process from a totally different perspective, view, outlook, viewpoint. Smash the like, as Julia says. Perspective, says Chaya. Perspective, says Vitali. Perspective, says Oksana. Perspective, says Julia. Perspective, says Renyard. Perspective for Nadia. Perspective for Pablo. Okay. Hi Nad, lovely to see you. Perspective for Nad as well. Yeah, from a different perspective. From a different view. No, a different outlook. Your outlook is how you see the future coming. So the outlook, the weather outlook for the next couple of days is warm and sunny. From a different viewpoint, but that's somebody else's viewpoint. No, from a different perspective. Your perspective is how you see you see something. Perspective for Carlos Ernesto. From a different viewpoint. You see, I would say from a different point of view, White Stripes, but perspective to me is clearly the best. Yeah. He somehow managed to make money by living it. Perspective for Victoria as well. Okay, Ali Louks, an English literature supervisor at the University of Cambridge, who wrote her PhD thesis on the politics of smell, described this as a really progressive, innovative, breakthrough, eccentric way to communicate history. When you were 10, my parents took me to the Lenin Mausoleum in Moscow, and there was a specific smell inside. Wow. That's very interesting, Renyard. So, let's see. Innovative from Vitali, innovative from Julia. A breakthrough way. Okay, breakthrough is normally a noun, Nadia. A breakthrough way, and as a noun collocation. This is, as a, without the really, describe this as a breakthrough in ways to communicate history. Safe for the previous one. Yes, Patricia. An eccentric way. Eccentric can fit too. Yes, but innovative. Progressive. It could be progressive as well now. But I think innovative because it's inventive. Victoria says eccentric. Jaya says eccentric. Nadia says eccentric. I guess eccentric could fit. Eccentric could definitely fit, but they're treating this as reasonable. Because if it's that eccentric, they probably wouldn't be writing an article about it. Innovative, says Patricia. Innovative is the answer. Let's see. Progressive, new. It could be. Breakthrough, it couldn't be because it doesn't fit with as a noun collocation. It could be eccentric as well, but I think the best is innovative because it's a new way of showing history or showing what ancient Egypt was like. Groundbreaking, a really groundbreaking way. That's quite good, yes, to communicate history. To engage, hire, hold, participate, appoint your nose produces a strong emotional and physical reaction, she told the BBC. To engage your nose, to hire your nose, to hold your nose, to participate your nose, to appoint your nose. So notice now, to hold your nose, if you hold your nose, you don't smell it. And if it smelt really bad, then they wouldn't be doing it. To hire, it can't be to hire your nose. To participate your nose. To get people's noses to participate, yes. To appoint means to give somebody a position. So he was appointed head of department. To engage, to have a relation, to get your nose working. To engage your nose, engaging your nose. I think I prefer the gerund as well, Oksana. So engage for Vitaly, engage for Oksana, engage for Julia and Victoria and Nadia, engage for Reynard and Carlos, and why not infinitive? To engage, yes. I think engaging sounds better. Engage for Chaya. I'll hold my nose and vote for whoever. Different usage, yes. You hold your nose so you can't smell it. To engage, to make your nose participate. To engage your nose produces an emotional reaction. We know smells were essential to social, religious and personal policies, drills, practices, plans in ancient Egypt, Dr. Louks said. Okay, so practices for Oksana, practices for Renyard, practices for Dawit, practices for Vitali, practices for Pablo and Julia and Carlos Ernesto, practices for Manisco, practices for Nav, practices for Nadia as well. Okay, a practice is something that people do regularly. A drill is something that's repeated. Yes. The British English with a C. Hi Philippe, practices, yes. Okay, a policy is to do with politics, and plans, no. It's a practice. It's the way something is done. It's something that is repeated. Good to have you, Philippe. Engage, involve, yes, Patricia. Engaging your nose, involving your nose. Practices, yes, Chaya. Matija Stric, another member of the study team, told the Associated Press the sense may even propose, recommend, advise, suggest, mention what social class a mummy was from. So, suggest from Vitaly and Nan and practices for Patricia. Yes, practices definitely P. Suggest from Philippe. Suggest from Julia and just suggest from Oksana. Suggest from Nadia and Victoria. So to mention, if you mention, you say, but you mention something in a conversation. Normally, to mention is to to say something, but in a conversation. Normally. Hello, Philippe. Suggest for Carlos Ernesto. Suggest for Reynard. Suggest for Manisco. May indicate. Indicates a good word, Reynard. May suggest. May imply. May show. So let's see, I mention people's names. Yeah, I mention the fact. To mention, no, but in a conversation may suggest what social class a mummy was from. Different smells for different classes. May hint at, but yes, definitely, Philippe. May hint at. We believe that this approach, and an infinitive phrase can act as a subject, so there's nothing wrong with to engage your nose. No, there's nothing wrong with to engage your nose. I think engaging your nose is probably more common, though. We believe that this approach, system, style, design is potentially of huge interest to other types of museum collection, he said. This reminds me of scratch and sniff. So, approach for Vitali, for Dawit, hi Dawit, approach for Julia, approach for Carlos, approach for Nadia, approach for Manisco, approach for Nad. System. I think system also works, Victoria. This approach for Reynard, approach for Philippe, approach for Pablo. This apprehend. No, this approach, this method is a good word. This system. So the approach is the way of looking at something. This technique, this system. I think system would also work, but I definitely prefer approach. This style. Could be style as well. This design, probably not. But this approach, this method of doing things. So I think system works, but it's not the best. As well as providing museum goers with new sensory understanding, perception, awareness, insight into mummies, the discovery also presents a potential breakthrough for mummy conservationists. This way, this way of doing things. So, awareness for Vitali, insight for Dawit, insight for Oksana, insight for Victoria, insight for Julia. Perception for Manisco. So, a new understanding, a new perception, a new awareness, a new insight. Notice they all fit. Perception into, awareness into. Okay, I think they all, I'm going to repeat again, they all fit. Awareness for Philippe, insight for Pablo, perception for Manisco. Chaya goes for insight. Approach perspective, says Patricia. Awareness of. It's normally awareness of. I think you could awareness into. Understanding of. It sounds better as well. Perception. I would probably say perception of as well. But insight into. Because you are looking into. And that's why I think insight is the best by far. Okay. The researchers used a technique called gas chromatography to split, part, detach, separate the different smells inside the sarcophagus that combined to make it scent. So the researchers used gas chromatography to split the different smells, to part the different smells, to detach the different smells, to separate. It's too difficult today. Ooh, Patricia. So separate, says Oksana. Dawit says separate. Vitali says separate. To detach, says Na. To separate, says Julia. Separate, says Philippe. To part, says Manisco. Separate for Victoria. Separate, says Nadia. Chaya says split. To distinguish. Distinguish would work. Split the difference is a collocation, particularly when you are bargaining a price, Carlos. All the words are synonyms. Okay, to split is to break something in two. To split the smells. How do you split the smells? No. To part the smells, to break into parts, no. To detach, to take away from. But to separate the smells, to separate one from another. And separate is the best one. To tell the different smells, yes, to separate the smells. To separate the different smells inside the sarcophagus that combined to make the scent. Separate, that's it, Pablo. Yeah. Yet to get a nice smell from mummies buried thousands of years ago. Compartmentalize, that's a really good word, Vitaly, I like it. They found odours relating to the breakdown of animal fats used in the embalming process, which could point, indicate, designate, specify the body is beginning to decompose. So, indicate for Oksana, indicate for Dawit, indicate for Nad, indicate for Vitaly, indicate for Julia, indicate for Alex. Hi, Alex Katznelden. So I'm going to have to call you Alex K, because we've got another Alex who comes quite often. Welcome, Alex K. Indicate for Nadia. Aisha goes for indicate. Welcome, Aisha. Victoria goes for indicate. Reynard for indicate. Can show. Yes, it works definitely, Dawit. To indicate for Manisco. Indicate for Philippe. Indicate for Carlos. Isolate is a good word, Patricia. Isolate for the previous one, definitely. So point the body. No, point to the fact that. Indicate for Chaya. We have an Alex L and now Alex K. Exactly, Nad. To indicate, it works very nicely. To designate. No, to designate, this goes here and that goes there and this is designated to go here. To specify. No. To indicate, to show. To let us know that the body is beginning to decompose. Because of these findings, it will be possible to practically interfere, interrupt, intrude, intervene in the conservation of the mummies, identifying how best to store and wrap the bodies, the research paper says. What's the word to say to alarm that the body? To set off an alarm, to no, okay. Anyway, Vitaly for intervene, Nad and Renyard and Patricia for intervene, Julia for intervene, Manisco's going to intervene, and so are Victoria and Alex K and Philippe and Carlos Ernesto and Dawit and Nadia. To alert. To alert us, to warn that the body is starting to decompose. Yes, alert. Well done, P. So to interfere, you normally interfere in somebody else's business, you meddle. To interrupt in the conservation, you interrupt a process. To intrude, you intrude on somebody's privacy, you go into a private place, you go where you shouldn't. To intervene is very definitely the word, because this is an intervention, because clearly it's starting to rot. To interfere, you are interfering in the relationship between other people. Interfere makes it bad. No, to intervene, to take action. Intervene is positive. Interfere is very negative. This is useful for conservators who care for the collection, as we can secure, ensure, deliver it reaches future generations, Dr. Bembibre said. Expected. Okay. Ensure for Oksana, ensure for Dawit, ensure for Vitaly, ensure for Alex K, ensure for Julia and Renyard and Carlos, or make sure, yes. Ensure for Nadia, to secure. Okay, because of the structure now, to secure it reaches, no, to secure the possibility that it reaches, to secure it for future generations. But to secure it reaches, to secure is to tighten, to hold in place. And we want to ensure with an E that it reaches. To secure for Victoria, to deliver. To deliver it for future generations. Again, deliver it reaches, no. To deliver it to future generations. To secure, for Philippe, yes. To guarantee it reaches, yes, that would work, Alex K. To ensure for Chaya. This one is tricky, the whole thing is tricky, Victoria. To ensure, to make sure, to ensure for Patricia. To make sure for Dawit, yes. To make sure it reaches. To enable it to reach, yes. Okay, ensure, make sure plus clause. Yeah, to ensure it reaches. But, whoops. Sorry. Okay, to ensure it reaches, to make certain. With I, this is about insurance. Okay, to secure it, no, to ensure that it reaches. Yes, ensure it could be used in the same way. Next article is interesting. So, certainly. So, let's see what it is. Okay. We gave an AI a Rorschach test. What it saw in the ink blots, a window into the human mind. So, Rorschach tests play with the human imagination and our mind's ability to provide, relay, impart, suggest meaning onto the world around us. But what does AI see in them? So, offers a window onto, an insight said Vitali. Suggest, says Oksana. Impart, says Dawit. Impart for Vitali. To infer. Look at this onto, Oksana. To suggest, says Na. To impart, says Patricia. To impart, says Carlos. Keyword, says impart. To provide, says Alex K. To impart, says Chaya. To relay, says Philippe. Impart, says Julia. Provide. Just a cultural remark. There are plenty of astounding sarcophagi in the ancient Egyptian Hall of the British Museums, but no mummy. The question is, where are all the mummies? I don't know. That's a really good question, Rainyard. So, look at this onto. To provide onto the world around them. This provide onto doesn't work. To relay onto? No. Suggest onto? No. So to impart onto? Yes. So it's putting meaning into, relay meaning onto the world around us. To impart meaning. To give meaning. Because relay is almost giving the world meaning about us. And this is imparting, this is our minds putting meaning onto the, to furnish meaning onto. Yes, Patricia. To relay, to pass information. To pass from one place, but to relay, to take something from one place to another. You see, I would say relay information to the world around us. But that's giving the world information. And this is us putting information onto the world. Supply, yes. Disseminate, no. It's the other way. It's not to disseminate information. This is our mind injecting meaning into the world that we say. To ascribe meaning onto. Yes, Renyard, ascribe is good. To study mummies, they study mummies to make Monarch or Soros immortal. Furnish with, yes. And that's the problem with this. The problem is this onto. Yeah? To impart onto, to give the world information on the to give information to the world, but it's to place information on the world so that we can understand it. Is it a car? Is it a plane? Is it an insect? Yes, it's helping us to interpret reality. That's the point. For more than a century, the Roche Imkrot test has been widely used as a window into people's personality. Our minds interpret the reality, that's it. We're imparting part of our mind onto the reality. That's very good, Philippe. You've understood it. Okay, good. I want to see has-beens for all of you. For more than a century. So this is unfinished time. It's started in the past and it's continuing up to now. It's got to be a present perfect. It's got to be. Has been for Renyard, has been for Vitali, has been for Alex K, has been for Nad, has been for Victoria, has been for Nadia, has been for Philippe, has been for Manisco, has been for Carlos, has been for Oksana. This is a grammar question. Absolutely, Dawit. So, no, Jaya. For more than a century, it has been. So, Chaya, there is a very strong tendency for people who speak Hindi to use continuous tenses and Hindi speakers tend to use continuous tenses much more. Unfinished time. That's it, Chaya. Has been. Well done, Patricia. Unfinished time. It has been. Okay, I think that's going to be enough for today, ladies and gentlemen. So, next. Was used. But let's see now. If you say was used, to me that says they don't use it anymore. Furnish with, along with, impart onto. Yep, that was it. That it. Let's see now. If you say was used, it implies that people have stopped using it. Yeah, it was used, but they don't use it anymore. Thank you all of you. Thank you, Dawit. Oi, Victoria, thank you. That is so generous of you. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure having you all. You're good students. It's great to teach you. Hi, Luna. For 8 years, the headmaster of a little English academy, and just got paid. That's lovely. Thank you. Yeun. Great to have you, Yeun. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Victoria. I know the Americans use the past simple, and the yes, Nan. I can't get my head round the American use of the present perfect. I don't like it. I don't like American tense use at all. Next stream is on Thursday, which is going to be the 6th of March at 3:30 p.m. UK time. Thank you, Luna. It's really good to see you here, Luna. Okay, thank you all. It's been really lovely having you all. So let's see. Thank you to Alex K. Thank you to Carlos. Thank you to Chaya. Thank you to Dawit. Thank you to Julia. Thank you to Philippe. Thank you to Luna. Thank you to Manisco. Thank you to Nadia. Thank you to Nad. Thank you to Oksana. Thank you to Patricia. Thank you to Renyard. Thank you to Victoria. And thank you to Vitali. A special thank you to Victoria. It's really generous of you. So take care. I'm really glad you found my channel, Alex K. Clearly you clearly belong here. To come to these streams, you need to have good English, and clearly your English is up to it. It's all right. I'm a wreck some days as well, P. Other days I'm better. So take care, all of you, and I will see you all on Thursday. So take care and bye for now.